Reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Sri Vrindavandas Thakur, Madhya Kanda, Chapter 10, The Great Revelation of Mahaprabhu. My dearest friend, Lord Gauranga, you are the ocean of transcendental qualities. All glories to you and all glory to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, the Supreme Personality, who is without beginning or end. After bestowing boons upon Sridhar, Lord Chaitanya began to gently sway his head and repeated the names, Nada, Nada, Nada. He spoke to Advaita Acharya, Acharya, ask what you need. The Acharya replied, my prayers have already been answered, my Lord. Lord Chaitanya appreciated this answer with a thunderous roar that drowned all other sounds. While Lord Chaitanya was still manifesting his Mahaprakash Leela in the mood of the omnipotent, supremely opulent Lord Gadadhar Pandit prepared battle and offered it to the Lord, who happily accepted. Lord Nityananda, whose partial expansion, Ananta Sage, is the support of the universe, now held the umbrella over Lord Chaitanya, as Advaita Acharya and other great personages stood before him. The Lord ordered Murari, look at me. Murari saw Sri Ramachandra in person. He saw that Vishvambar, Lord Chaitanya, was sitting on a kingly throne with his bow, his complexion as green as fresh, tender shoots of grass. He saw Janaki Devi, Sita Devi on his left, and Lakshman on his right. All round, the brave monkey leaders were offering prayers. By the influence of Lord Chaitanya's transcendental pastimes, Murari, now perceiving his identity as Hanuman and seeing his beloved Ramachandra, fell down in an ecstatic swoon. Lord Vishvambar called out loud, "Hey monkey, you seem to forget how the demon Ravana, who stole Sita Devi, burned your face. Enraged, you set ablaze his capital Sri Lanka and destroyed his entire race. I am that same Lord, your worshipful Lord. Now you are again in my presence. Rise, rise, Murari. You are as dear to me as my own life. I am that Lord Ramachandra, and you are Hanuman. Look now upon Lakshman, your beloved life and soul. You saved his life by bringing from afar the Gandhamadan mountain. Offer obeisances to the lotus feet of Janaki Sita Devi, whose distress moved you to profuse tears." Lord Chaitanya's words brought back Murari's consciousness, and upon awakening, he saw that wonderful scene and began to cry in Krishna Prema. Murari's ecstatic crying moved even the lifeless dry wood, what to speak of the assembled Vaishnavas. Again, Lord Chaitanya spoke to Murari, "You may ask me for any boon." Sri Murari replied, "My Lord, I do not yearn for anything. However, grant me just one wish. May I sing only of your glories. May I be born in any situation, but birth after birth. I simply pray that I may remember and serve you in the association of your servitors." "O my Lord, please do not place me in any situation where I may deviate from the absolute truth, forgetting that you are the Supreme Lord and I am your eternal servant. Wherever you descend, accompanied by your eternal associates, I desire to be there as your insignificant servitor." The Lord replied, "So be it, so be it. I grant you this boon." Hearing this, a jubilant uproar from the devotees filled the air. All the Vaishnava devotees were naturally very affectionately disposed to Murari, who was always compassionate to all living beings. Such was the purity of Murari's devotion that merely his presence would transform anywhere into a holy place of pilgrimage, as transcendental as Vaikuntha. It is impossible to describe the greatness of Murari. Even the Supreme Lord advanced for the pleasure of Murari. Lord Chaitanya then declared, "All of you listen carefully. If anyone criticizes Murari, he cannot be saved by even 1,000,000 dips in the Ganga. In fact, the bath in the Ganga, or even the chanting of Lord Hari's name, will certainly destroy such a sinful wretch." Murari Gupta, the Supreme Lord, is Gupta, secretly seated in Murari's heart. This is the spiritual import of Murari Gupta's name. Chanting Krishna's name, the Vaishnava devotees began to weep in ecstasy, seeing how Lord Chaitanya had showered his mercy upon Murari. Anyone who hears these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya's extraordinary magnanimity will receive Krishna Prema. While Murari and Sridhar wept in Krishna Prema, being in front of the Lord, Lord Chaitanya chewed on the battle palm, making loud cracking sounds. Lord Chaitanya then turned his benign glance on Haridas and called out, "Haridas, look at me. Your body and birth is superior to mine. Your class and caste is more elevated than mine. Although that sinful Muslim tormentor inflicted great pain on you, yet in my heart I hesitate to punish him, for that would surely disturb you. Such is your compassionate nature. Listen, Haridas, when you were lashed with the whip in the different marketplaces, I took up my Sudarshan disc and descended to earth from Vaikuntha, intending to sever the tormentor's head. While your tormentors were trying to beat you to death, at the same time you were thinking of their well-being. You were unconcerned about your own pains. You had only compassion for them. On account of your merciful heart, I could not use force. My Sudarshan's disc weapon was rendered impotent. I could not strike those men because you were determined to forgive them. Being unable to see your misery, I protected you from their lashes by placing my back upon your back. I accepted all those lashes meant for you on my back. See the marks on my back. I am not lying. Whatever other secondary reasons there were for my descent, unable to bear your sufferings, I hastened my advent to this world. My beloved Nada, Acharya, Advaita Acharya, fully recognized who you are. I am totally bound by his loving devotion. Our beloved Lord Chaitanya is very expert in expanding the glories of his devotees. He will say or do anything to glorify and protect his devotees. He will even swallow fire for his devotees and willingly becomes his devotees' slave. Sri Krishna recognizes only his devotees and knows nothing else. To Krishna, there is no one equal in position to his pure devotees. All those miserly offenders who are antagonistic towards such pure devotees of the Lord are devoid of all good fortune. From these pastimes and the things Lord Chaitanya said to Haridas Thakur, one can see the highly elevated position of the devotees. When Haridas Thakur heard about the Lord's magnanimous deed, he fell swooning to the ground. He lost all external consciousness and was immersed in an ocean of ecstasy. Lord Chaitanya said, wake up, see my opulent manifestation to your heart's content. Haridas awoke and becoming externally conscious, in tears of transcendental love, he looked about perceiving the Lord's extraordinary manifestation. He rolled about all over the courtyard, sometimes breathing heavily, other times swooning. All the ecstatic symptoms swept over Haridas's body like a hurricane, and although the Lord tried to steady him, Haridas could not remain still. Thakur Haridas said, O Lord Vishwambar, you are the Lord and protector of the universe. Now the responsibility of delivering a lowly fallen wretch like me rests on you. My Lord, how can I describe your transcendental glories as I do not possess any good qualifications? I am sinful and not even within the Vedic society. Just seeing me makes a person vulnerable to sin, and touching me makes one so contaminated that he must bath immediately. How then can I say anything about your divine pastimes? There is one fact that you yourself have stated. Anyone remembering your lotus feet, be he an insignificant and a fallen as an insect, is never forsaken by you, whereas even a mighty king falls from grace if he disregards you lotus feet. I am incapable of remembering you, although I know you shelter the most impoverished soul if he simply remembers you. The evil Duryodhana and Dushasana dragged the righteous Draupadi into the palace court, wanting to disrobe her. Confronted with the danger of disgrace, she remembered you, Krishna. Thus you made her sari endlessly long by your mystic potency. Yet the evildoers could not perceive your hand in this. Once witches surrounded Sri Parvati Devi, desirous of eating her. When Parvati remembered you, you immediately appeared, punished the witches, and saved your devotees. I am so sinful that I cannot remember such a magnanimous personality as you. O Lord, please therefore give me shelter at your lotus feet. The demon Hiranyakasipu inflicted all varieties of treachery and brutal methods, trying to kill Prahlad by poisoning, hurling down from the mountain, throwing in a boiling cauldron of oil, etc. Yet, throughout his tribulations, Prahlad meditated upon your lotus feet and was saved from each and every calamity. Excuse me. In this way, you humbled many of his enemies and took away all their vitality and strength. Finally, you personally appeared due to Prahlad's meditation. Once the 5 Pandavas were in grave dilemma, fearing the wrath of Durvasha Muni, but by remembering you, you appeared personally and saved them. You calmed Yudhishthira Maharaj with your assuring words. See, I'm already here. You just sit down and relax, and I will take care of Durvasha Muni and his army of disciples. Only the shred of vegetable left stuck to the side of the pot after the Pandavas had eaten was taken by Lord Krishna, relishing the thought of coming to his devotees' aid. Meanwhile, the sage and his disciples, bathing in the river, suddenly felt full in the belly, as if having just eaten a sumptuous meal. Ashamed and tearful, they fled. The miraculous benefit of remembering your lotus feet was amply demonstrated by the Pandavas in this incident. For everyone, the path of true devotion is remembrance of you. You perform your super excellent activities to rescue your devotees. The story of Ajamil is a wonderful illustration that even in the most degraded state, one should remember the Supreme Lord at the moment of death. Ajamil saw the Yamadutas, messengers of death, coming to drag his soul away to the nether regions of hell. In fear, looking for shelter, he saw his son's innocent face and called out his name, Narayan, the holy name of the Supreme Lord, and this immediately reminded him of the Lord. As soon as his mind rested on the Lord, all his danger and distress disappeared. Only the most elevated devotees of the Lord have easy access to this greatest spiritual treasure, the constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord. This is not surprising. O Lord, I am such a destitute that I do not possess the sweetness of your memory, and yet you have not forsaken me. Although I am unfit to see you, you are present before me in person. I am praying to you now for only one benediction. Sri Chaitanya replied, say all that you want to say. There is nothing that I do not want to give to you. Haridas spoke to the Lord with folded hands. O Lord, I have known only misfortune, yet you give me so much hope. Just allow me to partake of the remnants of the foodstuffs of your devotees who are surrendered to your lotus feet. Let this be my activity, my permanent and most prominent service, life after life. My sinful birth and existence is miserable without remembrance of you. But now, please make my life successful by granting me the remnants of your servitors. I feel within my heart that I have committed a grave offense by asking of you to be situated in the elevated status of a Vaishnava, for I am grossly unfit. O Lord, my Master, Protector and Maintainer of the entire creation, I am spiritually lifeless, therefore kindly forgive my ignorance. O Lord Vishvambar, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi, you are my master, so be merciful to me and keep me as a dog in the house of a Vaishnava. Haridas Thakur was overwhelmed by feelings of ecstatic devotion, and he repeatedly petitioned the Lord, feeling his desire for her humility and devotional service unfulfilled. Lord Chaitanya replied, "Listen, my dear Haridas, you are a highly elevated Vaishnava. If anyone spends a day in your service and association, or you kindly speak to someone for a short time, that person certainly achieves me. There is no doubt about this. Whoever respects and serves you does so to me also, for I perpetually reside within you. As my servitor, your position is unique. You have therefore imprisoned me within your heart eternally, since you are crowned already with a faithless, faultless character. I bless you that you will always continue to worship and serve me and my devotees without a single deviation or offense." A tumultuous sound of joy from the Vaishnavas greeted Lord Chaitanya's boon to Haridas Thakur. High birth, caste, fruitive activities, or wealth are worthless commodities to achieve Krishna prema. Only the intense loving desire for Krishna can bring one to his lotus feet. A Vaishnava may take birth in any family, but he is always the most exalted personality. This is the spiritual verdict. The living proof is Haridas Thakur, who was born into a Muslim family, yet what he saw and spiritually perceived is rarely experienced by even the most eminent personalities like Lord Brahma. Only the most wretched sinner will judge a Vaishnava by caste, race, or nationality, and for so doing he suffers the pangs of repeated birth in the lower species of life. One who hears of this pastime of the Lord and Haridas Thakur with proper faith will certainly enjoy the fruit of Krishna prema. These words are not my concoction, but the bold declaration of all scripture. One is sure to experience the bliss of devotional service to Lord Krishna if one lends oral reception to the transcendental activities of the pure devotees of the Supreme Lord. All glories to Haridas Thakur, a giant amongst the Vaishnavas. By remembrance of him, one is freed from all sinful reactions. The devotees started talking about Haridas. Someone said, "He is like Lord Brahma." Another observed, "Prahlad has come again as Haridas." Haridas Thakur was in every respect a great and unalloyed devotee. He is an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. In their hearts, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva always desire the transcendental company of Srila Haridas Thakur. All the demigods feel the same urge to associate with Haridas, and Ganga Devi wishes to bathe Haridas in her waters. Such is Haridas Thakur's exalted position. Just seeing him relieves one from the bondage of material existence. What to speak of associating with him? Great stalwart devotees like Prahlad, who was the son of a demon, and Hanuman, who was a monkey, are considered exalted Vaishnavas. Similarly, Haridas Thakur was born in a low-caste, non-Hindu family, but is counted amongst the foremost Vaishnava devotees. Okay, I stop here, reading from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Ki Jai. Madhyakanda chapter 10, the great revelation of Mahaprabhu ki jai. Jai Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Sriman Sarvabhavana Das ki jai. Jai Srila Gurudev. Then reading from Sri Guru and His Grace, by His Divine Grace Swami Bhakti Rakak Sridadev Goswami Maharaj. This is initiation into transcendental science. Srila Srila Maharaj. Guru and Acharya are the same, but generally it may be said that an Acharya does more extensive work, and also the Acharya must have extensive knowledge of the scriptures, whereas the Guru may not have expressly deep knowledge of scripture, but may have real knowledge of their purport. He may not be able to quote scripture extensively, but feels the meaning of the scriptures. He may be a Guru, but an Acharya is one who preaches widely and is able to extensively quote scriptural evidence. Marketplace of Gurus. Devotee. There are so many initiation gurus in the guise of Vaishnavas, who are simply out to cheat the innocent public. How can we know who is a real guru and who is a cheater? How do we know when we are being given real knowledge and when we are being cheated? Srila Sridhar Maharaj. We have to find out what is the source of his knowledge. In the marketplace there may be imitation gold, but if we are sure that the gold we are purchasing is coming from a particular mine, we can buy it with the assurance that it has not been tampered with on the way. In that way, it can be understood by examining the source. Once here in India, Gandhi wanted to revive the charkha system of homespun cloth. In the charkha system, the poor produce thread with a spinning wheel, and if everyone buys that cloth called khadi, then the money goes to the pockets of the poor. Both the Japanese and English cloth factories sent imitation, homespun khadi here. They began manufacturing rough cloth, imitating the ordinary homespun cloth produced here by the poor. Gandhi found himself perplexed. What is this? He said, my need is that the money go to the poorest pocket, but now the capitalists are producing imitation, rough cloth abroad, and that is being sold here in India. Instead of money going to the poor here in India, it is going to the foreign capitalists. Then he founded one association, the Khadi Association, and told his followers, you must purchase homespun cloth only from those shops who are connected with this association of mine. Then the money will surely go to the pockets of the poor. At that time he said, this is Guru Parampara, the system of disciplic succession. Of course, this is a crude example. Revealed truth coming uncontaminated through a particular process is parampara. We must connect with a reliable succession. Only then can we get the genuine thing. The authorized association is necessary. Guru Parampara is necessary. So before we read anyone's book, we shall try to find out who is his guru and from where the substance is coming down. Is it only a facade, or is there any real substance within? If we can understand that he has a relationship with a genuine sadhu, then we can give some attention to him. I often give the example of the homeopathic globule. The mere globule itself has no medicinal value. The potency is within. An ordinary guru may give the same mantra to his disciple, but what is the potency within the sound? What quality of conception or divine will is contained in that sound? That is all important. To get the mantra from a Sat Guru, a genuine Guru, means to get the internal good, the internal goodwill or real conception about the Lord. The seed of a banyan tree may be a small seed, but the great big banyan tree will come from that seed. The will with which the particular sound is given by the Guru to the disciple is all important. We may not trace that at present, but in the time, if a favorable environment is there, it will express itself and develop into something great. So when we go to purchase anything, we must be careful about imitations, or else we may be deceived. This is very important. Jai, Sri Guru and His Grace, Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Siradev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Yaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudam Giridhari Gopinath Nadanamaham Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Radha Sivachari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Rupa Sanatana Sarakuna Sitiva Gopala Bhakta Sarakuna Jaya Kusai Kuri Charana Vanda Jaya Te Vignana Sadhisa Pura Jaya Jaya Sabaikar Sisi Guru Kuranga Sundara Giridhara Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Matsi Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. Om Vishnupad Sila Bhakti Rakak Sila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Sila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Sila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sarvashara Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sarvashara Sri Mama Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath. Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Kamaya Munichu Ki Jai. Granta Rakshimad Bhagavatam Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Purushottama Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat Sri East London Chapter Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat West London Chapter Ki Jai. Samadvaita Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande.